All right, so we'll see if I can. All right, you guys seeing my screen movement? New slide. So things, objectives that we'll go over today is understand the value of networking, especially early in your career. Learn to craft and deliver that elevator pitch. Jamie, as you talked about, as you mentioned, confidently. I think that's the key word, confidently. And then identify where and how, your students now, some at different levels, but, some, so Zora, right, you have your professional, the academy. Others, Esmeralda, may be sort of in the HR profession, but where should we network? And then also the focuses and the takeaway, I think when we think about networking, it absolutely is developing those relationships. I'm going to say it again, because networking is 100% about relationship development, right? Finding folks who you want to learn a little bit more about and developing an ongoing relationship with them. So we'll talk again, here we'll go. You'll see what we'll do. This may or may not take the whole hour, given that there's not a large crowd, but we'll go through and do some of these things. What's networking? You will have time to craft your elevator pitch. You'll practice it then within student groups, and give some where and how to network, and building genuine connections, and then the Q&A. So I will say, as I teach, just if anyone has a question, do not hesitate to either just shout it out or raise your hand. That's not going to offend me in any way. All right, so let's go into some of these myths and realities of networking. So myth number one, networking is only about asking for a job or something you need. Who wants to, and I may call on people. Esmeralda, I'm going to call on you. What do you think? Why is this a myth? Can you counter it?
I think it's a myth because, like you mentioned, right now it's about creating relationships with people and possibly in the future being able to collaborate and work with them.
Yeah, excellent, right? It is building an ongoing relationship for the long term, right? So there's some level of reciprocity after the fact. Maybe right now as students, there's not a lot that you can give, and maybe you'll get from the folks in your network, but over time, right? There is that reciprocal exchange of helpfulness and helping each other out. All right, myth two, I don't need to network to get a job. Getting a job is primarily based on my GPA and experience. Zora, how about you? What do you think about that? Why is that a myth?
Well, to be honest, I have no idea for now.
Okay, you're in math, right? Graduate student.
Yes,
So wouldn't just having a great GPA be sufficient?
of course, no. Actually, if you want to find a good job, you need actually to have a good network and, to be honest, good research
Right.
background.
For you, for sure. Yeah.
Of course, and of course, you need to have a very good teaching reviews.
Right.
You need it.
And we have to have in showcase, right? So what?
Yes, it's actually combination of all these things, and of course, grant writing and all these things.
Yep. And those things we do not do in isolation, right? Even if you're looking for a professor role, right? There's the academy out there. There's your whatever the math, academy is. You join, you meet people. And so absolutely, we know that 70 to 80% of jobs are found through networking. Right?
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
So that's what we're doing. So thank you.
Sure.
Myth three, only extroverts are good at networking. Hari, I'm going to call on you. Are you there and able to answer this one either in person or in chat? So why is only extroverts are good at networking? Why do you think that's a myth? Hari, are you there?
Hi.
Or is it Sodiq? Are you going to answer this one?
I'm sorry. Can you just repeat that one more time?
Yeah. So do you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So one of the myths we know about networking, which networking is sort of building relationships, and the myth is only extroverts are good at networking. Is this true or false?
That is false.
Okay, why do you think so?
Because I believe everybody have a way to connect with people.
Absolutely.
We connect in different ways. Some people don't say a lot. Some people just connect over maybe something they enjoy doing, such as maybe hiking, or maybe, they have something in common with the other person that kind of makes them be able to get out of their shell and, have a conversation about something.
Yeah, great response. Like similarities, commonalities, right? We think we have things in common with folks that we network with, right?
Yes.
And yes, while it may be easier at first for folks who are more extroverted and just enjoy being around others, good networking, it 100% is a developable skill. So the more we do it, the more we step out of our comfort zone, whether as we craft our elevator pitch, the better we become at networking. So developable skill. Ricardo, are you there? All right.
Hi
You're on the
there,
hot,
Dr.
you're on the
Fin.
hot seat. Myth number 4, networking is a selfish or manipulative activity.
That is a myth.
Okay, why so?
I would say just because in general, you have to use people skills every day just to interact, from like basic communication in regards to person at the workplace, or even amongst, loved ones and family. So truly, the average bear networks every day, even if it's on like via a cell phone or something.
Yeah, right. And it's all about that relationship, right? And I think we're in this age where we see sort of the self-promotion everywhere, right? And sometimes we can say, ah, that's a little bit selfish, or why are they putting out there? And but yet the truth is absolutely it's about building genuine relationships and connections with others. And through these connections, while we are, showing sort of the reciprocity and the genuineness in exchanging information and just meeting people, we realize that we can build what is called sort of the trust capital, right? We're going to be helpful. We're going to help them out with something. We're going to go to them for information, and in return, maybe we can help them out as well. So not selfish and manipulative. It is something that you need to do. And it is about being genuine, right? So I think that that's an important point. All right, Jamie, I don't think I've caught on you. You need a slick pitch and charisma to network well. Why is that a myth?
Well, I'm hoping that's not true because I am not a slick pitch kind of gal. But I think it's, again, like you said, it's about the relationship. And so it's not about trying to sell yourself as it is trying to communicate and find commonality. And so, charisma is probably helpful, but, you know, actually being earnest and honest is probably more important.
Yep, absolutely, right. And it's the thoughtful, being sincere, genuine. Okay, all of that is more important than having some sort of big persona, big personality that people remember. So hopefully you all are seeing the theme here. Hari, I'm coming back to you for one more chance at this. Last one, myth 6, I only need to network in my final year of school. Anyone want to put that in the chat, or anyone want to take a stab at that one? Obviously, I'll just go with it. Never too early to start. That's why we're here, right? And whether it's looking for internships, professors who might be mentors, Esmeralda, as you're starting in the world of HR, right? What sort of mentors, what sort of references will you have, right? And so never too early to start, and that's why you're here. So we've talked a little bit about this in the chat function. Think about who in the professional space, if you could choose one person, who would you network with now and why? So in the chat, who would you network with professionally and why? And maybe you don't have a particular person, maybe you do have a particular person. Could be someone that you admire in the field. But just take a minute or two, knowing that we want to develop these relationships with folks, not only to help us now, but for the long term. Who in your profession or professionally, right? It doesn't have to be in your profession, would you network with and why? So think about that for a minute and put it in the chat when you've come up with someone. Okay. All right, Esmeralda, HR department in the city. Can you think about, and I'll wait for other folks to put something in there. Sorry. Anyone else? Okay, excellent. Nick, good one. Director of New Mexico Veteran Services, great. Sadiq, I'm gonna put you on the spot there for a little bit. IT professionals where? Tell me a little bit more about that.
So the ways to find IT professionals, I know with my own background, I've been able to be part of some bodies like CompTIA, I2C, you know, they have like chapters whereby they have certification whereby you can have like continuing education where you can network with people that are professionals. And quite oftentimes people do get, you know, information about potential opportunities that might be out there.
Yeah. So opportunities, right? Just learning more, right? We know this little bit of the world, recognizing that it's much wider than that. Nick, thanks for putting yours in there. Talk a little bit about why in your role that's important for you.
So just like a little background is right now at Global, we're wanting to improve our support of military connected students. And what I found is that, you know, each of us, we're all part of different groups when we think about it. You know, I have a jujitsu group that I'm a part of. There's a group, believe it or not, where we trade cooking recipes. So we have our own networks. And what I found is that by establishing relationships, sometimes you can be introduced into a larger network and you can sort of be vetted. And then if that person signs off and supports what you're doing, there's a lot of credibility then that channels out to that broader network. And so for me to try to insulate or try to get into an insulated community like veterans, to work with the director and to get that buy-in will make it much more easy for me to get that message across to this group.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Recognizing that sometimes it's, you know, someone at the top who has the connections across the state, right, with different people. And if the director respects you and trusts you, right, there's that ongoing exchange that you can meet with others. Jamie, talk about yours a little bit, because I think this happens, right? We change fields, right? You're coming back to school. So what's the value of classmates and professors?
So yeah, I really don't know anyone in the data analytics or data science field, and so I wouldn't even know where to begin to find people sort of in that, you know, industry to try to network with. But my classmates that are in the same degree, some of them either already have internships or they're already working in that field and they're now getting a master's degree. And so, you know, they probably have more experience in different parts of that than I do. And then, of course, the professors themselves, you know, can hopefully maybe point me in the right direction in the future for either internships or, you know, jobs or just, you know, more information about the field.
Yeah, good point. And I think we tend to think pretty what's central to us, right? What's local to where we are. And there are some resources at the end that hopefully for all of you here can give you some idea of some other networking, right? So thanks for showing up. I think some of it the first time is yeah, we want to build our network, but how do we build our network and where do we build our network? And so hopefully we'll get some tips and resources for that. And if not, Sadiq is IT, a little bit different than data analytics, but maybe that can be one person already that you can build for your network. All right, so we're going to talk about crafting your elevator pitch, which really is your professional introduction, right? Who are you? So real brief, elevator pitch, right? We think about it, how long do we stand in an elevator? So you have a very brief amount of time. For those in the research space, right, we know that we're supposed to talk about our research, our dissertation with that. This is the same thing, but it's more personal to yourself. So 30 to 60-second introduction about you that shares who you are, what you're passionate about, and what you're looking for, right? And this could look very different for all of us, right? So we're going to spend a little bit of time on that. So the structure of this, right, and I think we'll make it easy for you, is who are you, right? Name, major, university. What do you do or care about? So what are your experiences? What are your interests? What are your passions, right? I think going back to Sadiq, what you said earlier on, right? Maybe it's something that's hiking, and it may be something that you find a commonality with someone that maybe they're not quite in your career, but you have this common interest, right? So or you've had similar experiences. And then lastly, what are you seeking? Learning, internships, and connection, right? Might be different again for different people. So what I'm going to give you now is I want you to structure this, and I'll give a little bit more of a structure after you create yours, but I'm going to give everyone here, let's say 5 minutes. So I'll check back in about, well, 12, 26, 27, but craft, and it can't be long. It's like 30 to 60 seconds. And I want you to do some initial work on crafting your elevator pitch, your professional introduction, right? That sounds really good, right? Professional introduction. You're crafting your professional introduction, and then we can fine tune it in a minute. So take about 5 minutes or so to work on that. Please write it down, or if you're gonna dictate it, however, but questions on what I'm asking you to do at this point. All right, just throw something in the chat. Okay, come back for a minute. Hopefully you've got something started. I'm actually gonna show you an example that can help you create your own pitch. Maybe use some of the filler words, but you get a sense that it's not real long. So take till 12:30 to refine yours, and then I'll tell you what's going to happen. So take another 3 to 4 minutes to continue to refine your professional introduction. All right, give me a thumbs up or raise your hand if you're done with your professional statement. Right, maybe I'll say it differently. Does anyone need more time on this? Jamie, thank you. So the next step in this, and you actually start your networking right now, is I am going to split I think we have six students. Maybe less. We may have lost someone, but I'm going to put you into breakout rooms. And what I want you to do, first and foremost, I want you to introduce yourself, say what you're studying here at NMSU. And then you're going to, every one of you is going to give your elevator pitch. So Jamie, say you're going to start and Esmeralda's with you. Jamie, you give your pitch. Esmeralda and Ricardo, you're going to give some feedback, right? Constructive feedback about what was good, what struck you, maybe what could be done differently. Okay. And so all three of you, two or three of you, will take a turn in doing this. Everyone clear with what you're doing? And I'll pop in and out of the breakout rooms just in case you have any questions. Yvonne, Christy, and Shelby, I don't have you in one, but I can add you if you want to go into one of them.
If
All
it's
right.
needed, Dr. Flinchbaugh, that's fine. Oh, hold on. If it's needed, if you need a participant, I don't mind joining a breakout.
I think we're good.
Okay.
But let me see what happens. So I'm opening up the rooms and I'm going to give you 10 minutes to go through and do this and be really focus on the constructive criticism. And I want every one of you to give feedback for everything that you hear, right? That this was good, or maybe you could improve that. Okay, you got it? Quiet group. Are you guys all eating lunch? Right. Opening the rooms. Oh, Christy, it looks like I did put you in a group.
No problem. I can do either. I can join or not join, whichever you prefer.
Go ahead. So they have, because I don't know how many people are actually still here. So go ahead, and Yvonne, I may put you in one as well, because it looks like, Zora, are you still here? Yeah, I'm gonna put you in that one. Okay, Yvonne, just you guys can just kind of go through it, or at least just listen. So I'm putting you, oh, nope, Zora went there. Do you want to join, Yvonne?
I mean, there's 3 of each. I'll stay back. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm good. Thanks.
Yeah. Shelby, same thing. Do you want to go into one?
I am unable to at the moment, but thank you.
Okay, perfect. Everyone was able to get through that and give there. Is there anyone from your peers that said, hey, this was a really good one, that you want to share it? Be a
I think,
risk.
Jamie's was outstanding.
All right, Jamie. Thanks, Ricardo. Jamie, are you willing to share yours?
Sure, put on the spot. Thanks a lot, Ricardo. It was nice to meet you. So, hi, my name is Jamie Horton. I am obtaining a master's in data analytics from NMSU. I enjoy exploratory data analysis, and I have been gaining experience in data mining using Python. I am hoping to meet others in the broad field of data analytics to learn more about different careers and what it takes to be successful at them.
Nice. Nice. That was a good one, Jamie. So a couple of rules of thumb with this. It's short and sweet, right? Like 3 or 4 sentences, no more, right? Be clear in saying your name, who you are, and what you're looking for, right? And were there any feedback of things that you felt, hey, this was the feedback we gave, or this was helpful or where people could have improved their professional introduction. And you guys can put that in chat. If there was any feedback that you had to say in general. And Christy, you were sitting in there too, so you're certainly welcome to share anything you saw.
So Dr. Flinchbaugh, our participants really did an awesome job. I think they were well prepared. The concern though was whether or not it would be acceptable to have some notes. And so what I shared was even professional speakers, they have notes, bullet points and outlines. So I think it might help the students to be able to hear that from you if if you agree.
So this is what I would say, right? Because sort of these professional introductions, some of it's impromptu, right? Some of it you may just be hearing someone go to a presentation and you're like, oh, I want to meet this person. So what I would say is this is a pretty short script, so you should have it prepared, right? To the point of, and I think about when I first started teaching, right? I really had to rely on notes, right? I had to rely on notes. After some time, but you just have to practice them more and more and more. And Zora, right? So you've probably done it, maybe you haven't, but if you've gone to conferences and done research presentations, you have to know it, right? You know it and you know it inside and out. So Christy, I would say it depends, right? Because I would say this is something that you want to have in your mind, and doesn't matter if you don't want to be mechanical and repeating it, right, from memory, but you should have a pretty good idea of what you want to say, right? So whatever you guys have just created, put it somewhere close by your computer, on your laptop, where you're going to see it, right? And I would also say, keep it shorter than you think, okay? You want to identify yourself and what you're looking for, what your experience is and what you're looking for. Keep it within that 3 to 4 sentences, okay? So memorize it, but then just know it, right? That this is just who you are. Other questions or comments? Let me see, is there someone in the chat? Yeah, practice it until you're smooth. That is 100%, like 100%. So it's not feeling like it's canned, right? You're genuine. You're being genuine and reaching out. So a couple of things, right? You've created your professional introduction. You've done the successful pitch. You see here on the slides just some things that, again, this is not being slimy and slick and manipulative, right? So it's listen more than you talk. Right. And that's important for all of us in every place in your professional capacity, right? Because people like to share about themselves. They like to share about what they do. They're often not asked about what they do. So as you're moving into the space of developing your network, listen more than you talk. And as you're listening, what are some questions? What strikes you? What did you think? Hey, that's pretty cool. I want to ask them about that. Right. So asking questions. And you guys have probably all been around there where you meet someone and you can say within the first 5 minutes, they've talked about themselves. They've not asked a thing about you. And do we want to be friends with that person? Do we trust that person? Absolutely not. Right. So making sure that you're asking questions, be helpful, not transactional. And when I think about transactional, it's tit for tat, right? I'll do this if you do this, right? No, sometimes it's just like being able to help. So I have a book that I have Give and Take, right, is Adam Grant, one of my favorite researchers, scholars in my MBA class. And there's a guy that he talks about who had the largest network on LinkedIn, and he does what he calls a 5-minute favor. If someone reaches out to him, and if he can help them within 5 minutes, he'll do it, right? Doesn't matter how busy he is, if he knows that if he can help that person within 5 minutes. So you may find yourself, maybe not right now, I mean, you may be asking more for help than what you can give back. But Zora, you're in a perfect situation. You're teaching math, right? So, I mean, some of it is your job is to help students, but there might be some other things, some other questions. Jamie, as you're meeting new people in a new profession, you may have an old profession or old network that you can say, hey, I can connect you with this person. So think about that 5-minute favor of just being kind and genuine. You see a thank you message or note, I mean, especially on LinkedIn, making sure that you're doing that. So hi, Alex. Thanks again for chatting with me at the career fair. I really enjoyed learning about your work and marketing at blah, blah, blah. I'd love to stay in touch and learn more about your career path, right? And I think at this point in time, it's 100% appropriate to reach out to folks to say, hey, what do you think was most important? Thanks, Christy, for jumping in and helping. But what is most important to lead you to where you are right now? Okay. And then again, staying in touch, sharing resources, congratulating achievements. And again, if you are all of you, is everyone on LinkedIn? Ricardo, Jimmy, Sadiq, Esmeralda, and Zora? Are you guys all on LinkedIn?
Yes, I'm on LinkedIn, and I've been on LinkedIn for almost, what, 8 years.
Yes, good. Everyone else, if Jamie, use it, right? So LinkedIn again is really important. Esmeralda, same sort of thing. There's lots of HR networking you can get from LinkedIn. That is where, again, if you're going to find someone who you want to say, hey, I want to network with this person, that's where you're going to find them, right? So you guys may be from earlier on, you're like, I don't know who I want to network. I don't know if there's anyone out there. But LinkedIn is absolutely the source. Shelby, Vaughn, do you guys have LinkedIn trainings in the global space?
I think we're working on that. I'll pass it on to Shelby because I just moved over here in June, but I know
Yeah.
that Shelby and the team that they're working on like workshops and so forth. But Shelby, do you want to add to that?
She may be eating lunch too. It's okay.
Yeah, yeah,
So-
she's working.
So
But we
what I
do-
would,
Oh, sorry.
nope,
Oh, yeah, so we do have the LinkedIn. I know that we're doing workshops on that. We will have a video recording of a LinkedIn workshop soon. And one suggestion I would recommend though, like just learning about the like LinkedIn, how to join networking on there too. We do have that new one, the LinkedIn Learning from NMSU is free to students if they want to try to do the basic, but they're welcome to meet with any of the career staff members. And to kind of set up a profile. We could go through, how to setting up a LinkedIn profile and networking and all that stuff. And I always recommend during workshops, if they want to just reach out to the career staff members and start connecting with us, because I'll be happy to connect with any students on campus,
right.
just to build that network.
Jamie, I like your question. Thanks, Yvonne, for sharing that. So, and I also have some other resources that we'll get to in just a minute as we're finishing up. Continued connection, right? I think the thing that's good about LinkedIn is you will see when people post things and just respond, right? Whether it's like a congratulations or, hey, this is exciting. I think LinkedIn actually makes it pretty easy. And I actually have folks, in the research space, people reach out to me all the time where they say, hey, I love this research. Can you share this with me? Or, and I think, so just when you get into spaces and networking groups on LinkedIn, which there are some, it's pretty easy to find some commonalities. So, and some of it may be, Jamie, where you might have a particular question that you're like, okay, I don't know about this. Let me see who's out there. And again, you're not asking a lot for people, but you may want to just say, hey, I want to get into this job. Do you have suggestions? And I think the good thing about LinkedIn as well is it shows you people who you have connections with, right? So NMSU grads, right? So that's an easy ask. If there's someone there who you can see they're in a industry that you want to get into, you see they graduated from NMSU 10 years ago, 100% reach out where you can say, hey, I saw you graduated from NMSU. I'm finishing up my degree in X. Do you have some recommendations from where I might get started? Right. So NMSU for sure use that within LinkedIn. And then build your networks. There's a lot of professional network groups on LinkedIn as well. Right, where to how in networking, where and how to network in person and online. So again, as you have the whole career services here in the global space. You also have on-campus things that if you're living in Cruces or the near area, right, of career fairs, student organizations, like I know for SHRM, Esmeralda, we have the Society for Human Resource Management Club, and I know that they're meeting virtually as most, so we can get folks that are in, maybe not living in Cruces. So make sure you connect with those organizations. Professors, right? Don't hesitate to reach out to professors, especially if you hear or learn from them that they were in an industry or have an expertise that you want to learn more about. LinkedIn is just huge. And then industry specific forums, webinars, join things that you can go to. And then obviously alumni panels, conferences, and then thanks Yvonne for giving me some of the upcoming things with the global campus. So some resources, and I'm running out of time here, so I'm gonna go a little bit faster. Action steps this week. And I really want you to think about it, right? You've started your pitches, your professional introduction. Don't just stop. So connect with 3 people, right? Think about what you're going to say. Hey, this is who I am. Can you help me with this? Right? And then make sure, again, you're practicing your elevator pitch, your professional introduction with a friend. All right. Right now, show me a show of hands or a thumbs up if you're going to do this. If you say, yes, I'm going to agree to this action step. Everyone, I want to see those thumbs coming across the stream. Thanks, Zora. Thanks, Jamie. Thanks. We may have lost the others. Ricardo, Esmeralda, Sadiq, I'm going to assume that you're still here and you're going to follow through on these things. And then last but not least, and this, Yvonne, I'll make sure that I give you these references. Oh, thanks, Sadiq. Thanks, Ricardo. Great, appreciate it. So what I would say is we'll make sure you get these slides. I don't know that you can connect this, but University of Illinois has a wonderful sort of how-to sheet for your LinkedIn profile of what you should have on there and how you should use it. There is also an elevator pitch worksheet that I found from a LinkedIn webpage. And then on Eventbrite, actually found a list of virtual student-friendly networking events. So Yvonne, I'll just share this with you, and then you can just send this page out or send the whole thing out. I don't care. But, oh, and then you also see the evaluation. So please give feedback. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. And I think you can just screenshot. Can they screenshot it? Or do
Yeah, I do have the link also. Let me, I'll put it in the chat real quick.
But any questions? Any questions for anyone that's still here? If not,
Sorry, I have something for Teaching Academy. Is it possible to actually hold a meeting or workshop, I don't know, for math students for grant writing? Because it is actually it was a workshop before I attended, and I found out that it is totally different for other, majors. And I really want to know about it because in my home country, to be honest, we didn't do that. So I really want to learn about it because it helps us a lot. I know to know how to do it and to be professional.
so Dora, that's a great suggestion. Who's the management department head right now?
Professor John Harding.
So I would reach out to John. So Tara Gray, Dr. Tara Gray, right, is the Teaching Academy leader. So reach out to her, but I think if you can talk with John too, or Dr. Harding, about what you think you need. I think it's a great idea, right? Because it could be something that I know that the Teaching Academy does stuff that might be really broad and not specific to your field. And certainly we know that grant writing is changing a lot with just the changes at the federal level with funding. So I can't help with that. I don't think the global folks can either, but that would be my recommendation for you. Talk
Okay,
with Dr.
sure, I
Harding
will.
and talk with Dr. Gray.
I will.
Thanks for attending. Any other
Sure.
questions, comments, concerns? Yvonne, I will send you my PowerPoints. And then you can certainly feel free to, or do you have the recording that, I don't know that the links.
Yeah, did everyone get the link? Did you all get the link if you could go ahead and complete that evaluation? And I don't know, we did stop the recording, I believe so.
Okay.
But yeah, if you want to
Yes.
send that out. Yeah.
I'm going to stop the recording now.
Perfect.